Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this emergency meeting of the Horowhenua District Council, which the purpose of will become evident very shortly. Can I please call first for apologies?
Apologies from Councillors Ketu and Tukapua.
On with those, can I have a second, please? Councillor Jennings, all those in favour? Against? Carried. Any public participation? We do have members of the Fox and Surf Life Saving Club as well as officers here, so we will get you in a minute. Thanks, Adam. Declarations of interest? None, thank you. Any announcements? None that I'm aware of. So the purpose of this meeting is to seek a resolution from Council to authorise the Chief Executive to enter into a new deed of lease with Foxton Surf and Lifesaving Club Incorporated for the Foxton Beach Surf Lifesaving building. And this is about they have requested a lease, a longer term lease of 30 years plus 2 10-year rights of renewal from 2021. Sean, I believe you're presenting again. Thank you very much. I'll leave the floor in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councillors. So, as the Mayor has said, this report is to seek a decision to enter into a new lease with the Foxton Beach Surf Lifesaving Club for that building on the Foxton Beach foreshore. As detailed in the report, the club and council officers have collaborated on an application for funding from Surf Lifesaving New Zealand for an upgrade of the building and have been successful in this process. Approximately $806,000 being allocated for this work. This combined with the existing council LTP capital budget will significantly modernise the building, which was built in the 70s, and rectify any deficiencies such as National Building Standard of under 33%. The club has an existing lease in place with council, which expires in 2030. But given the success of securing a significant amount of funding from Surf Lifesaving New Zealand, the club has now requested a longer term lease with Horowhenua District Council of 50 years, being a 30-year term plus 2 10-year rights of renewal, and this would be from 2021. It should be noted that the Foxton Beach is forecasted for significant growth over the coming decades, and an upgrade to the building will allow the club to provide a very efficient and future-proof delivery of surf lifesaving at this beach, and that's in the context of the demand of their services undoubtedly increasing over that time. I thought I'd note too, as part of the upgrade project, officers have incorporated increased public toilet provision into the design, so that in terms of amenity in this coastal area, that will also be a major level of service increase for the community in the future. The club and also Surf Lifesaving New Zealand have been really supportive of incorporating this public good into the building project. So I just wanted to make that point. So thank you for that intro.
Thanks, Sean. Now, I'd like Adam, who is the president, I assume, Adam, of the Surf Lifesaving Club in Foxton Beach, to add anything you wish to. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and fellow councillors. Thanks for letting me speak on behalf of the Foxton Surf Lifesaving Club this afternoon. Just to introduce myself, my name's Adam Radich. Professionally, I'm the General Manager for New Zealand Wind Farms, but I'm here presenting just as an executive on behalf of the committee for Foxton Surf Lifesaving Club. Now, Foxton Surf Lifesaving Club is a fantastic place. You know, the club has momentum, and we've just positioned ourselves to try and be a factory of good news stories. You know, people want to belong to positive, encouraging environments, and operationally, we're just sort of really moving from strength to strength. This has been a real turnaround. I mean, we're no strangers to charitable organisations consistently existing in Struggle Street. The turning point here, for the first time in history, last year, was the announcement of $9 million towards Surf Lifesaving New Zealand. This is absolutely monumental to the existence of surf. We've never had any money from central government before. 2.75 of this $1 million was earmarked for shovel-ready capital projects. So the call here went out with a very tight time frame. We had 5 weeks from woe to go. Now, collaboratively with these gentlemen, Horowhenua District Council and Foxton Surf Lifesaving Club quickly needed to give an application. And this was somewhat of a triumph that we were actually successful here. This clearly attests to the hard work and commitment from two separate entities working well together. We had a common goal in mind. Now, it was all about shovel readiness. These projects are weighted, and the decision was weighted. Now, shovel readiness is a bit of a stretch, and it's a term that's really developed off the back of COVID with a lot of different interpretations. In my eyes, we were shovel ready, and that didn't mean we had the shovel in the boot of the car, didn't mean the digger was in the car park or the builder was ready to swing the hammer. What this meant is we had a plan presented to us. It meant we had a plan in our eyes, we had momentum to move forward, and we believed if we continued with the process in parallel with this application, we could be shovel ready, in inverted commas. Now, Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club submitted a submission along with 28 other submissions nationwide. And for Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club to get the largest portion of that 2.75 million was somewhat of a triumph. The Auckland-based, the bigger regions, Fox and who? They search us up on Google, where do these guys fall on the map? So let's be honest, this is somewhat of a triumph, for both Horowhenua District Council and Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club. Now, what this means in essence is essentially Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club are gifting a quantum of funds to assist with the building refurbishment. We are donating 70% of the funds required to undertake this capital project. This is $806,000 plus GST, and it's simply based on our intention to have this project done and dusted within the financial year, 30 June. If we don't quite make 30 June, it's not the end of the world as long as we can satisfy Fox and Surf Lifesaving New Zealand auditors that we have intent and we still have a clear forecast for the completion. I think we can all agree this contribution is a real success for Horowhenua District Council and the Surf Club to achieve this update. And not only have we achieved it, but it will be largely funded by central government rather than the local ratepayers. That's success in its own. Now, we currently have a draft MOU between Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club and Horowhenua District Council, which, any successful project needs clearly defined roles. We need clearly defined lines of who's going to do what, roles and responsibilities, and how this project's going to work. Now, that's all outlined very clearly in the MOU. However, Fox and Surf Lifesaving Club have requested a long-term lease. In return for our capital investment, the only real metric, the only real lever we have to pull is to have some commitment from council to successfully grant us a longer-term lease. It's not about me being a lifeguard at the beach or other senior members being a lifeguard at the beach. This is about succession. This is about my kids also knowing they have a footprint within that building. The building is fantastically placed. It's a fantastic building. Once we get the earthquake strengthening done, once we get it more functional, it's where we want to be for good. There's no better place to provide a better service than out of that building. So we would like to table a commitment from Horowhenua District Council to offer longer-term lease than what is currently available. And as Sean said, 50-year term, 30 with 2 10-year rights of renewal. Now, the essence here is in timing. The tenders are due on Friday, the 26th, being this Friday. Procurement next week, the 5th of March, to be announced as successful tenderee. So the timing here is really the essence for this MOU draft to be finalised, signed, and ready to go for successful tenderee. I welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam, for that very passionate plea. Is any members got any questions or clarifications from either Adam or the officers? Excellent, thank you. Okay, so first of all, can I just move 3.2 that this 3.1, sorry, that the matter be received. Councillor Jennings, Councillor Isaacs, all those in favour? Aye. Okay, thank you. Against? Carried. And then 3.3, as recommended by the Foxton Community Board, the Horowhenua Council resolves to grant a new lease to the Foxton Surf and Lifesaving Club for a 50-year period to consist of an initial period of 30 years plus 2 10-year rights of renewal. Do I have a mover? Councillor Isaacs. Seconded, Councillor Kay Simmons. Any debate, discussion? Councillor Brannigan.
Yeah, just some comments, please, Your Worship. Just really to acknowledge on behalf of, I guess, Foxton Beach and Foxton community and the wider Horowhenua, I guess the partnership that this has shown between council and surf club, which gets us to where we are, which is fantastic. That's built on a previous partnership that we've worked on the last few years in terms of the beach surf club role on the beach in terms of road beach safety, and the surf club have taken on the task of cordoning off that area in front of the surf club on those busy days through the summer, and that's had a huge effect on that, not only the swimmer safety but the ability for families to go down there without the risk of vehicles, running kids over, etc. So I think our discussion, well, it's wider than just what we're talking about today. There's a real partnership that's being formed. I've seen in the 20 odd years I've lived down that area, and Council Allen's been here a lot longer than that. The contribution of the surf club over those many years, and Adam, you're right, it is flourishing. You can see with the members you've got, the young members, your nippers. There's some fantastic stuff happening there, so I'm just absolutely grateful as a representative of the area, and certainly as a beach resident for the work you do and the partnership that's come between council. So just really want to acknowledge that and totally support the recommendation today. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Can I just also add and echo Ross's words? I think the collaboration between officers and community organisation of this is, we're setting some fantastic templates in terms of how we should deal with the community and these sorts of things. But I also suspect that the quality of the application that was made to Surf Life Saving New Zealand was reflected in the fact that you all got together and worked on it like this, and the amount of 806,000 is certainly a coup for us and the district, and especially for the beach community, and I congratulate you all on that. Hopefully, in a few months' time, we're celebrating another opening of a new facility. So all the best. Cheers. Thank you all. That brings our emergency meeting to a close. Thank you.